This Shabbat is called Shabbat HaGadol, and one of the beautiful customs this Shabbat is that we actually read half the Haggadah in the afternoon. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to share what I believe is a beautiful insight into one story in the Haggadah. Rebbe Lezer ben Azariah says, Harei ani keben shivim shana. I'm like a 70-year-old man. The obvious question is, either you're 70 or you're not 70. What does it mean that I'm like a 70-year-old man? So it goes back to the story of when Rabban Gamliel had been fired as the Nasi, the leader of the Jewish nation. And they wanted to pick a new Nasi, a new leader. And they went over to Rebbe Lezer ben Azariah, and they said, would you like to be the new leader? And the problem was, he was a kid. He was like 17 years old. And he answered them, instead of saying, yes, behechlet, obviously I want to take the job, he said, I need to go home and ask my wife. And so he went home that night, and unlike other sections in the Talmud actually tells us the story of the conversation between him and his wife, the back and the forth. And finally she said to him, but you're a 17-year-old kid. They're not going to respect you. He went to sleep that night. The next day he woke up. His beard was gray. His hair had turned gray. He wasn't an old man, but he looked like an old man. And that's what the Harei ani keben shivim shana. I'm like a 70-year-old man, even though he wasn't really 70. However, one of the beautiful insights into the story is not that he was like a 70-year-old man. It was how he decided, rather than just answering the question, that he was going to go home and ask his wife. That she was important. That as a couple they made the decision together. It wasn't him coming home and saying, I got a new job today, honey. And she says, Mazel Tov. Rather, he said, I need to consult with the most important person in my life. It's a lesson, not only for Pesach, but for all year long, of how a couple should interact. Shabbat Shalom.